Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take a look at AVAX, see what's going on. Don't forget to hit that like button, comment below if you get a chance. Let me know where you're at with your AVAX positions. What I want to talk about here today is some important stuff. We got a really nice structure so far. I got our nice little cup here so far. It's pretty ugly, don't get me wrong, folks. This is not a reason to take a trade. I'm simply giving you perspective on things to look for when there's shifts in momentum and potential for further upside. But this is a nice little retest of the local high. I like that. It also broke through its local low, or sorry, it's more local high, rather, this more recent breakup structure. Okay, and it also has since broken and continued back down to retest that local low. Those are all very good things to look for with a cup and handle type of pattern. So just know that that's kind of present on the charts here. Is this an exact, perfect situation? Definitely not. But it certainly some things to kind of identify and see if that is confirming with a bullish type of convergence, then we maybe want to consider a long position. But by no means, folks, do I ever want you to think that whenever you see a pattern on a chart, you just take a trade because there's a statistical probability going that direction. The reason why the statistical probability exists is because those are usually in the trend that works with it. So if we're seeing a bullish type of pattern, we better have a bullish type of trend concurrent with that, okay? So we're gonna look for that too. Anyways, take a look here. Liquidation, we can see there's a range, of course, but 19 to 20 is that the local high there, and obviously down as low as about 17 to 1650 is that other area of liquidation. But majority of the heavy concentration liquidation has been swept. But as you can see here, there's kind of this retest of that $19 range, which is a tentative resistance. That's why cup and handles actually exist, because you're retesting that resistance level and it comes back for a third time to blast straight through it. So there's a good chance that could happen, but once more, that's kind of what we see on the liquidation. From a macro perspective, there's more liquidation to the upside than the downside, roughly about 200 million in liquidation between here and $20, maybe more like 400 million in liquidation. So there's more incentive for the price to go higher because of that. Once more, that doesn't mean too much if the volume is low. We want to verify and see if there's volume to support this. But we can see liquidation delta is getting close to break even. Usually when that happens, there's a shift in momentum and late shorts get hit hard. So be very careful being a late short. Sometimes shorting into resistance can be a good strategy, but a lot of it depends on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is showing some strength in the 82K range. I feel it's probably going to retest $84,000 to $86,000 CME gap. And once that's filled, then we can consider a short. Between now and then, I think you're probably better off not necessarily taking longs on altcoins, because altcoins are not necessarily super strong right now. But for the most part, leaning more towards upside on the short term versus downside makes more sense. That's kind of where my mind's at. Okay, so take a look here. $18 to $17, we got open interest. We can recognize there's a decent amount of support in the $17 to $18 range, kind of just reinforcing the fact that if the price were to pull back to that area, we'll probably see it hold and continue further up, or at least sideways, because there's a lot of interest in that area, okay? Keep in mind too, though, ton of resistance at 1975 based on local open interest. That's kind of a resistance range. So if you were to consider a long position, ensure you secure profits between now and that resistance, okay? Furthermore, too, here we take a look, we can see with the price action here for AVAX, we can see the daily time frame. We are still very bullish. Sorry, I misspoke. Still very bearish. The daily time frame on most coins right now is going to be heavily bearish. There's no real macro scenario here that says to take a long position with AVAX and hold to $30. You have to keep your ranges tight if you're going to consider a long. And generally speaking, those ranges must work within local highs and local lows. So once more, we see this $19.75 to $20 range as a resistance based on previous supports. Okay, so if you're going to take a long, ensure you secure profits between now and $20. Okay, that's just kind of what that's telling us here. Now, in regard to the overall sentiment here with the macro, still very bearish. There's nothing on the daily time frame telling us we have these hidden bullish divergences. There's nothing on the daily time frame that's going to reflect positivity. Simple way to understand it. 4-hour time frame does have a shift in momentum, however, and I want to talk about this. So 4-hour time frame is usually it's like an indication of trend reversals. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is like a stark reality, like, hey, we're just going straight up because of this, but we're over the 20-day SMA. We're now tentatively above our local high, which was $17.85, roughly $18. And at this point here, closing above 18 today, could prove to be very beneficial in the sense that we're more likely to see further upside because of that. We are also here testing 50 in the RSI. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting closer to that resistance range. That's how short squeezes occur. When you hit these levels, the price shoots straight through that, oftentimes because you have just a lot of resistance and it's been broken. Too many people shorting at the top. Having said that, though, we can see we're above 50 on the RSI, or sorry, we're above our RSI SMA, which is very beneficial. MACD is converging. Our stochastic RSI is trying to diverge here, but that doesn't mean too much. However, we do take a look at overextension. We can recognize that we've been moving in the same direction for 4-hour candles. That's roughly 16 hours. That's not too bad. We're halfway through that continuation. So we're not like massively overextended. We're in a situation right now where pending Bitcoin doesn't dump. We're looking pretty solid here as this bullish backtest of this local high. And what I mean by that is, if you're not familiar with this is something to look for with trend reversals. When you see a resistance level here, we can see this break of structure that occurred when the price hits this level, comes back to retest, and then boom, comes right back down to hit that level and bounced off of it. Keep in mind, it's pulling back right now in the last hour because Bitcoin just retraced from 82.5 to 81.8. So there's that. But we're above this key level resistance, and pending Bitcoin doesn't run for the ground or anything lower than 80,000, I think there's a distinct probability we're going to see further upside on the short term for AVAX. Anyways, that's a 4-hour there. When we look at the 4-hour we already looked at the 4-hour, apologize. 1-hour time frame, we're going to look at the Ichimoku cloud, confirm we're above the cloud, lagging spans free and clear, and the conversion lines over the baseline. These are 3 out of 3 reasons why a long position makes a lot more sense than a short at this exact time, pending Bitcoin doesn't dump. All right, so it's sad and funny to me how many times I have to say, under the impression Bitcoin doesn't just completely destroy everyone, then we're just fine. Because this coin is showing a lot of strength here, a lot of recovery. Just keep in mind too that there's no guarantee we're going to break through this, but if you do recognize this type of pattern, this is consistent with the short-term trend, right? So you can kind of see the short-term trend here. It's really common for the price action to come down, to work itself into a channel. You usually break that, retest that local high as a new low, continue higher. So anyways, this has pretty much everything you're looking for a likely breakout. Once again, pending Bitcoin doesn't make a run towards anything lower than 80,000. So that's what we're at. Definitely a good sign here overall. I think this is leaning more towards a long consideration for me, just based on the overall sense of how well we're doing. We got our local point of control at like 1775. We're looking pretty solid here for a continuation higher, a likely breakout to push towards this 1950 range, possibly a little higher, but I think we're going to see a lot of resistance in the $20 range or 1975 based on this open interest area being so heavy. Okay, so just some consideration there. Don't take it long to the moon. Take it long to the local, the atmosphere instead of the moon. Right? You got to be realistic, folks. Nowadays, you cannot take trades just to the stratosphere anymore. It's just not the market that we're in. I don't think we're ever going to be in the market again, just based on too much manipulation. And this Bitcoin ETF. Ever since that got approved, we've been in a world of hurt with Bitcoin and altcoins too. Anyways, just some food for thought. Quick little congrats to our community members here for some nice profit on our Premium Plus group. While we're not like massively in profit with our swing trades, we're still in the green, but we're seeing some really good consistency here. Got a nice, decent, significant amount of return there. That may look small, but this is only $50 per trade and it's fully automated. Just a nice little passive income for us here. You can kind of see here that we're at about 656 on the day. That's a $1,000 portfolio to give you perspective in about 42 days. Not too bad. Anyways, congrats on that. I hope that's going to continue to work for everyone. Thanks so much for the awesome feedback. We'll look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Take care.